Since Brett hit his all-time high of 19 cents, it's been on a big downtrend. Now that coincided with the whole of crypto nuking, but how does it look now? Here are some areas of support and resistance that I've plotted out, and you can see that Brett had the big dump into a very high time frame, and by high time frame I mean this chart is a daily chart, into a high time frame area of support, and it looks like it's had a bounce from there. One thing you can see from Brett's chart is since the beginning it's had a 58% dip, a 70% dip, and then it just had a massive crazy run up that ran it all the way up to 20 cents roughly. Something I want to point out is if you look at the RSI here, the lowest before was 34, 35, but in the current dump it hit 30, which is very close to being oversold. I've spoken in previous videos how the first touch of the RSI going below 30 is usually an automatic buy, because that triggers a lot of algorithms to buy coins, especially when it coincides with price dumping into a high time frame area of support, which has happened here. The current dip was a 63% dip, which ties in with the other previous dips that Brett has had. I'd say it's around about average for what I experienced in the past. It's currently gone down to 864 million market cap. Now, because Brett is the biggest meme coin on base chain, I would expect this to go further in the future just because of how bullish I am on base chain and the amount of money that will flow into base chain and in turn should flow into Brett. If you want to wait for more strength for Brett, a safer play might be to buy once it goes back above this area of support, which is around 10 cents. What you'd want to see would be something like the current price is doing now, touching 10 cents, maybe consolidating under it and then getting above it and then going back up again. One concern I have with Brett is using Kaito AI's token mindshare, which tells you the amount of people who are speaking about a coin on Twitter or other sources. You can see that Brett has had one of the biggest decreases of mindshare in the past few days. That might be because there's quite a few new coins that are coming onto base chain, or it might be that people are not as interested in Brett anymore since the high. But I think it might just be because there's a lack of money on base chain at the minute, as a lot of money is flowing into Solana or Ethereum memes. So we'd want to see the reclaim of 10 cents to be sure that Brett is back in an uptrend. But if you believe in the future of Brett and you think ultimately the price goes higher than the old all-time high, the RSI being this low is a good area to buy some spot bags that you're just going to buy and forget, I think. Now this depends on the general crypto market being bullish. If it were to take another downturn, this is like the ultimate area of support that you'd want to buy Brett at, which is around 5 cents. Now it would take quite a lot for that to happen, I think, but I wouldn't discount it. I mentioned Brett's strength depends on the overall crypto market. So while I'm recording, I'm looking at Bitcoin. In previous videos, we said we wanted Bitcoin to reclaim the 55,800 region. It kind of did that, but now you can see it's rejected back below. I wouldn't be surprised if we had another dip on Bitcoin into, you see this area of demand here, somewhere into there, to form a double bottom on high time frames, chops around and then hopefully reclaims again sometime soon. Now why does this matter for Brett is because if the crypto market as a whole goes down, meme coins will suffer quite a lot. So you may want to be wary about buying, unless you just want to buy cheap and then you gamble and go for it. Or it might be worth waiting for strength before you buy it. It's time for channel favorite, Mr. Miggles. So I just spoke about Miggles for 5 minutes, thought I was recording, turned out I wasn't. So let's go again. We had some hopium earlier in the week that Miggles had bottomed as we hit around 1400 and had a fairly decent bounce. What we wanted to happen was we wanted the price to go above the purple area or into the purple area and above and start pushing away. But what happened instead is that we rejected the purple area and started trending down again. Now there could be a double bottom forming around these regions, but we really need buyers to step in, and the overall market is looking kind of shaky tonight. So I wouldn't be surprised if with the lack of momentum we get another low in Miggles. Now similar to the way you could play Brett is the way you'd play Miggles. You can start buying bags now, even though you have to be aware that the coin is in a downtrend. You have the highest risk to reward if you do that, or you can play safe. You can wait for Miggles to break, let's say the 3 cent mark comfortably, and that's when you buy in, as that will signal the start of a new uptrend. If that coincided with the RSI going above the 50 level as well, for me that would definitely be the mark of the trend reversing. I worked out earlier that my average is around 2800. I've said a few times already that I expect Miggles to at least touch Toshi's all-time high market cap, which was around 300 million. So I still think Miggles will do at least a 20x from here. I'm also aware of some of the catalysts they have going behind the scenes, and they are going to have some partnerships with some very useful people coming soon. So it's just a matter of playing the waiting game. Just some reminders about why I'm so bullish on base chain. You can see out of all the layer 2s that base has the highest amount of active monthly users at around 11 million now, which is close to double Arbitrum, which is in second. We can see as well that in August, Base is due to exceed over $100 billion worth of stable coin transfer volume, and you can just see historically how that's gone up and up and up on base chain. Now my expectation is that money flows down at some point to base chain utility coins and base chain meme coins. As Chainlink Bull says here, at the minute the users are up but the coins are down. This economy will turn around, and that is something that I very strongly believe in. We previously looked at the Ethereum version of Neiro. If you don't follow me already on Twitter, please do. I posted that it looked like Neiro was about to break out and make a new all-time high, which is exactly what it did, and it's now around 260 million market cap. And if I remember correctly, on the previous video we talked about it at around 75 million. If you don't know what Neiro is, it's a new dog meme coin, and this dog is the new dog that is owned by the person who used to own the Doge dog. So it's a very easy narrative of Doge 2, and that narrative has carried it to $250 million market cap. Now what's there to say about this chart? It's just so strong. If you watched the Miggles part earlier, I was saying I wanted the 50 level to break, and that will signal a new uptrend, which is exactly what has happened with Neiro. It pushed down below the 50 and then just pushed above, and he just carried another uptrend now, broke a new all-time high. If you want to buy Neiro, maybe you get a retest around this kind of region, 20 cents to 22 cents, and the trend continues something like this, and you start pushing up. What you have to be careful of is if Neiro starts breaking below 20 cents, so if where it is now and starts pushing below, that might be the change in market structure, and the bull trend might be finished for now, and it's going to have a big cool off. At some point it will have a big cool off. Let me see what it's done already. 53%, that's pretty big actually for such a strong meme coin. So you have to just see how the strength develops. At the minute the uptrend is intact, so you just try to ride it as long as you can. I want to show you a coin on Solana called GINNAN, GINNAN the cat. This is the old Doge dog, Cabuso I think the name is, and this is the brother of the first Doge dog. And since Neiro has been running, this cat has been running on Solana. Neiro is on Ethereum, by the way. So I always talk about newer meme coins and how they have their big correction. GINNAN had the 83% correction, which is similar to what its cat brother Miggles is doing right now. So this is the potential for Miggles in chart wise. But you can see with GINNAN, if you zoom out, you had the first burst, retrace, and now a new burst. It kind of looks like it's dipping a bit at the minute. The structure to me suggests it's maybe struggling to get above 1100, and maybe a good area to bid GINNAN would be around here, somewhere between 7 and 8,000. That is only if you think the trend will continue. We had the RSI reaching the oversold region and it sold off, and you can see every time it pushes up it's getting sold into. So maybe GINNAN does something like drops below and starts to downtrend again. But every time Neiro runs, I've noticed GINNAN runs as well. So maybe they dip together as well. Something to keep an eye on. When we look at Kaito AI's token mindshare for meme coins, we can see that Pepe is still the most talked about meme coin over the last 48 hours. In our last video for Pepe, we pointed out that the RSI hit the red level, which is below 30 and oversold for the first time since September 23. That coincided with dipping into a high time frame level of support, which you can see from the yellow lines. 1, 2, 3, and the fourth touch of that support. Usually when we get the red RSI touches into high time frame support, it's a pretty good trade for a bounce, which is exactly what happened now with Pepe. If you follow my Twitter, you'll see that I bought some. My average is around low 700s, but I think I might get rid of it, to be honest. On the bounce, and then it pushed up to the resistance area of this support area here, which is now resistance. If you don't know, when support breaks on the way up, it usually starts to act as resistance, which has happened here. Now, something I want to point out is this is the strength of Solana against Ethereum, and you can see that Solana against Ethereum is hitting a new all-time high, showing that all the strength is in Solana and the Solana ecosystem. The only exception to that would be the Neiro meme coin on the Ethereum chain, but because of the pretty weak reaction now at resistance, I'm probably going to cut the Pepe that I have, as I think there'll be better bags to have long term. If you want to play Pepe here, it's kind of in the middle of this resistance and this support. Usually buying near the red level of RSI should be a good trade. I would fully expect Pepe at some point to reach this big level here of what is now resistance. You can see this level has had 1, 2, 3, 4 touches during the lifetime of Pepe and is around the 1075 area. So that would be, if you bought now at these low levels, it would be like a 45% trade. If you wanted to, you scale in. So you buy one day, you buy a little bit the next day. So you get a average price over, say, a week. At some point, Pepe will push towards the 50 RSI again, which is why I expect it to reach this big resistance level. And I still expect there'll be days and weeks where Ethereum outperforms Solana. And when Ethereum runs, Pepe runs as well, as it's considered beta to Ethereum. And by beta, I mean like a smaller market cap coin that people buy instead of Ethereum because it's based on Ethereum. If you're just interested in long-term spot bags for Pepe, it's currently on its 57% dip, which is pretty attractive region to buy in based on percentages alone. And for what you've seen Pepe's ran to in the past, going back to all-time high now for Pepe is 134% on your return. So if you believe Pepe is a coin that's going to stick around, I believe it will stick around. I just think that there's better use of money, especially if you want to try lower market cap coins to try and make more return. If you kind of want a safer return, if like, let's say you have more size and you want to have a quote unquote safer meme coin, Pepe is probably a really attractive buy down here. What we don't want to see happen for Pepe would be for it to break below the yellow support line and start dipping down again further down. That would signal that there's just a lot of bearish momentum in it currently. If you want to play safe, you wait for this area to be broken above something like this, and then you long again to the 1100 regions. So you can still make a decent return between then. Breaking back into above this support area would signal that the bullish trend is probably starting again, and it works on every time frame. If Pepe pushes above the 50 level on the RSI and like reclaims a key support, then the likelihood is that it will go up in price. Okay guys, that's going to be everything for tonight. If you've liked my analysis, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. The Twitter link is in my description. And also help the channel out by giving me a subscribe, please. I'm off to bed, so good night, and I'll see you on another video.